Can a seemingly perfect marriage fall apart in an instant? And in the most unlikely of places? The answer is a definite yes. I've lived through it myself, and now I feel ready to share my story. Emilia and I go way back, literally since school. We were in parallel classes, lived next door to each other. What started as friendship eventually blossomed into love, and then something more. Naturally, we were each other's first. She patiently waited for me to finish my time in the army. Then came university, and only after that did we get married. By the way, we paid for the wedding ourselves. We didn't ask our parents for anything. We lived our lives on our own terms, not planning to have children in the near future. To be honest, the thought of diapers and baby clothes was not entirely attractive. Well, at least until we turned 30, maybe. We were slowly saving up money for the down payment on the mortgage, but when the time came, the bank refused us. After that, we made a plan. The mortgage will be issued in my father's name, and as soon as we pay it off, we will transfer the money to our name. And, to be honest, I felt lucky at that moment. As time passed, things improved. Our incomes grew. We didn't rush to pay off the mortgage early. We got a car, then another. But since I was working for myself as a programmer, we kept purchases in my parents' name to avoid raising any suspicions about our income. Why didn't I register things under Emilia's family? Well, her parents had passed away in a tragic accident. They were killed when their car skidded on a slippery highway and crashed into oncoming traffic. It was a devastating blow for both of us, and I truly mourned their loss as much as Emilia did. It took a while, but Emilia managed to pull herself out of that dark hole of grief, and we nearly returned to our normal life. Emilia and I never fought. We always worked things out calmly. There weren't even any minor household arguments. I used to joke, "Sometimes it gets a little too quiet around here." Then, out of nowhere, something happened that I still don't completely understand. Emilia exploded, just like that, out of thin air. She'd always gone to the supermarket on her own, handled the shopping, loaded the groceries into the car herself. I never had to carry heavy bags. Well, once we were home, I'd always bring everything inside. I didn't mind it. It worked for both of us. I could barely drive that cart to the car. She shouted at me, her voice filled with frustration. And those damn bags. I thought I was going to collapse from the weight. "Emilia, please just calm down," I said, reaching for her in an attempt to comfort her. But she pulled away, wiping angry tears from her eyes. "If you just called, I would have come. You could have figured it out yourself, just once in your life," she snapped, jumping to her feet and heading for the door. "Where are you going?" I asked, a little stunned. "I'm tired. I'm staying with Lucy for now." "And you?" She trailed off, her voice breaking as she left the apartment. I've never felt like such an idiot. She screamed at me for no reason and then left the house, over something so trivial. Seriously, I wasn't a fool. I knew it wasn't just about the groceries. But honestly, I didn't want to dig deeper into it. I thought, she'll calm down, and then she'll tell me what's really going on. A month went by. She didn't call. At first, I tried reaching out, texts, calls, everything. But Emilia didn't pick up. By the third week, I gave up. The silence stretched on for another 2 weeks. And then, one day, Lucy showed up at our doorstep. The very same Lucy, the best friend Emilia had been hiding away with for the past 6 weeks. "Hey, Mason," Lucy practically oozed through the door. I couldn't help but watch her. I'd never been fond of her, but today, something about her felt different, unsettling even. "What are you doing here?" Did Amelia send you?" "No," Lucy pouted, folding her arms. "Let's just say it's my own decision." She plopped down on the couch, casually draping one leg over the armrest in a way that felt almost too deliberate. Lucy just spit it out. She hesitated, then suddenly stood up, walked over to me, and kissed me. Before I knew it, her hand was sliding down toward my pants. In that instant, I jumped back, my skin burning with shock. I shouted at her to leave. "What an idiot!" Lucy exclaimed, throwing her hands up. "I was actually trying to save your marriage." "What are you talking about?" She smiled, but it wasn't friendly. Turns out, Amelia's not quite the angel you thought she was. After her parents passed, she needed a little boost, you know. So she joined a dating site. And, well, one thing led to another. She can't even explain it, but she's really embarrassed now. And she doesn't know how to face you anymore. "But if you cheated, then maybe you could have just started over," she added with a sly wink, grinning. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So what do you want me to do with that info?" Lucy's smile faded. "From the top of the world, Mason," she snapped. "Get out. And you can take all of her stuff too. Tell Amelia she's not welcome here, not in my place." "But this is her apartment too," Lucy said, trying to keep his cool. "No," I replied coldly. "This is my father's apartment. And the car she drives on dates, she's his too. So you can leave the keys in the mailbox. And trust me, it's better if you don't show up here anymore." With that, I escorted Lucy out, slamming the door behind her. At first, I felt nothing at all. I had grown so accustomed to living without Amelia that I didn't even notice the void. Sure, during the time she was pulling away, something had been eating at her. I had those nagging thoughts, like, could she really just leave? But I always pushed them aside. And now my suspicions were confirmed. She was gone, and strangely, it made things feel a little lighter. The divorce was quick and painless. From a legal point of view, there was nothing to divide. Amelia started bombarding my phone, trying to reach me, but I didn't answer. However, I wasn't going to give up the car. I had to threaten to report the theft and make it clear that I would involve the police. Let her explain herself to them later. That's when she threw the keys at me, muttering something about me letting my wife roam the world. I just looked at her and said, "Honey, you left on your own." And that was it. How it happened, how it ended. Honestly, I never expected any of it. But what's done is done. Life doesn't stop here.